What's up? I'm Matt.
My name's Eric, and we're part of Gym Class Heroes.
And you're listening to WTBU.
Make me your radio and turn me up when you feel low.
Turn it
This
up a little bit.
melody was meant for you.
right
Sing
there.
along to my stereo.
Gym Class Heroes, baby.
My name's Alexis from WTBU, and we're here with the Gym Class Heroes.
Hello.
So you guys are currently on tour for the Paper Chronicles Part 2. I just wanted to ask your opinion, and I wanted you guys to tell me what's the difference from the Paper Chronicles, like the sound of music.
Well, I think in going into writing this record, like we knew we wanted to do the Paper Chronicles to like the sequel. You know, the first album was kind of our introduction to the world. You know, and I think that album definitely meant a lot to us and means a lot to our fans. So in doing this, we kind of set the bar pretty high in terms of what we needed to accomplish. We probably wrote like 40 song ideas maybe, which was cropped down to 10 ultimately. But I mean, to us, like that album has kind of a lot of darker tones, like musically and lyrically. So that was definitely kind of a starting point in terms of inspiration of where we wanted to begin to write our songs.
Yeah. So what was the writing process like for the new album? Was it hard to figure out an idea of what you wanted to start writing about?
Well, I think it came pretty, I guess it sounds cliche, but it came so natural. It started off, you know, we had some time off. We knew we were going to have some time off. We had just finished up the record cycle for the Quill, and you know, that kind of like streamlined into Trav's solo project. And you know, that left you know, the three of us to our own devices, you know, and so we you know, going back to the Paper Chronicles, we wanted to like start, you know, we had that in mind, so we rented out like this old church up in upstate New York, and just like, you know, put all of our equipment in the basement, blotted out all the windows, like lit some candles and set the mood, and like, you know, it just kind of flowed. You know, we never like decided we had a battle plan that wasn't like charts and graphs or anything. Yeah, it was literally just like sitting down and just jamming, you know, and which I think, yeah, you know, which is probably, because I wasn't around then, it's probably how the first record, the first Paper Chronicles was made.
Yeah,
it was cool. Like when we were doing that, once we would like be like, all right, we like this idea. And we would kind of like put together a really quick arrangement for it, and then we would record it, and then we wouldn't come back to it. You know, we would just move on and try and keep like producing ideas. And some songs like would just come out so easily, and other songs it was just like you had to work for. So it's weird. Like
those are the ones that didn't make it.
Yeah, some like my favorite songs on the album are ones that just like, you know, we just farted the songs out. You know,
yeah.
Would your fans ever get to hear those songs? Like,
we have some really good demos that
we
like
do. We have some
like
really
awesome
awesome cuts of stuff that just did not make it.
yeah, because I'm sure your fans would love to.
Yeah, well, we're actually,
cool.
I think we had the idea of maybe pitching him to maybe like movies or commercials or something, just for, or like like background music for reality shows, just to, you know, just like, cause it's pretty moody, you know what I mean?
Moody stuff.
Yeah, you know, well, it was. I mean, that's like, you know, you can't just have a completely dark album. And I feel like some of the songs that didn't make the record were like some of the, you know, more just
Intense.
Yeah, a little too deep, you know.
Yeah. So how do you guys think your music has evolved over, you know, the last couple of years? I know you guys said before that it did change quite a bit, but it's still the same roots.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we don't ever want to like make the same record twice. You know what I mean? You know, Gym Class Heroes does have a pretty signature sound, but at the same time, I feel like each record kind of revolves around a certain theme, and so it's always going to change. You know, and I don't. You know, I think that's why it's changed. You know, it's just because we don't want to like. You know, I mean, imagine every record being like the Paper Chronicles Part 1. I mean, would be boring by now. Yeah. We'd be like, okay, I get it. You know, you guys are from upstate, and it's depressing. You know what I mean?
I think it's bad depressing stuff.
Well, I think just being in a band or being an artist, like you are constantly striving and trying to be ambitious with, you know, whatever it is that you're creating. So I think, you know, the minute you stop being ambitious, it's like, what's the point? You know? So I think as long as we're open to change and open to trying out new things, then we'll constantly be moving in a direction that's a direction of growth for the band.
A lot of the DJs at WTBU, which is the student-run Boston University radio station, we wanted to know, how do you think radio helps in promoting the music?
I think college radio especially is super helpful for bands and artists, because like with college radio, I don't think that they're like held to the same regulations as you know, your clear channel radio stations or anything else.
Clear channel.
Yeah, where it's like, here's the 10 songs that you're gonna play over and over, and like, you know, it's the students and it's the DJs that get to actually be in charge of picking out what goes over that air. So I think that's awesome, you know, and the fact that, you know, people who do have a choice would elect to play our music means even more to us, you know, than just, you know, having to be like slapped on a list and told, all right, play this song once every hour or something.
Yeah, it's true. Also, how do you guys feel about new music technologies, such as auto-tune and like beat makers? Like, would you guys ever consider using that? Have you guys used that in your music?
Actually, I recently got an iPad, and there's part of the application, GarageBand. There's it's called Smart Guitar or Smart Bass or Smart Keyboard.
I have that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's there's just buttons, and you press it, and it just sounds so awesome and nice, you know. And it's like, all right, well, now I don't have to like break out, you know, 10 different instruments and like figure out these chords. I can just like press these buttons. But I'm like, all right, well, I've been playing bass for, you know, since I was 12 years old. Somebody who hasn't been playing, you know, their whole life should just sit down and like make songs. But I mean, like, I think that's awesome. You know what I mean? And it's also it's really cool to have like kind of like a musical sketchbook. You know what I mean? Like while on the road, you know, like before it was like, oh man, like we need like a studio, and you like, you know, like getting your ideas down, you know, requires equipment, you know, that you don't necessarily have while you're touring. But now with like this technology, you know, you can literally just like play into your phone and we'll record it, or like, you know, it's like, oh, I have a song idea, you just press these buttons and it's just there. Yeah, it's like having a sketchbook, you know, which is really cool.
What do you guys think about auto-tune? Have you guys used it? Would you ever consider using it heavily?
I think what, like Eric said earlier, what Gym Class Heroes does is a somewhat specific thing. I think we've been playing for enough years that we have a sound, and I don't know that auto-tune does or doesn't fit into that. But for us, you know, what we've always tried to do is emphasize the dynamic between drums, bass, guitar, and vocals. So that's kind of the genesis of Gym Class Heroes, and I think it'll always remain that.
Okay, and at the moment, what do you guys have on your iPod? What are you guys listening to?
I've been listening to the new Bruce Springsteen album all the time.
Yeah, that's really good. There's this band called Dawes. They're kind of like a young kind of band. Pretty cool. And this awesome, really heavy band from Denmark called Rising. Into them too.
Is there anything you want to tell your fans? Anything you want to tell them that's upcoming after this tour?
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot more things like this. Touring. We'll be on tour all the time. Not Warped Tour.
No.
We typically don't double up on Warped Tour, and we just did it last summer.
Yeah, I saw you guys last summer actually.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
Long Island.
Nice. Yeah, Warped Tour is always an amazing thing to be a part of, so you know, maybe we will in the future, much to the dismay of our crew, who would be put through hell.
Your ass back home.